governments buying Bitcoin, gaming empires on the blockchain. It seems like the whole financial system is getting a digital makeover.
It really is. And, you send over a whole stack of articles and reports about what's happening in the crypto world.
Yeah, tons of fascinating stuff that we're going to unpack in this deep dive.
I think what's fascinating is the massive scale of these changes. It's not just, tech enthusiasts anymore.
Right.
We're talking governments. We're talking entire economic blocks, even the way we play games.
Yeah, so let's break it all down.
Yeah.
Help you guys navigate this crazy crypto landscape, figure out what these trends actually mean.
Right.
And hopefully get you thinking about how this all plays out.
Yeah, and hopefully spark some healthy debate along the way. I think it's good to question assumptions, look at things from different angles.
Absolutely. So let's start with something that just blew my mind when I was reading this stuff. Governments are loading up on Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like a couple of tokens here and there.
No, it's a major shift. We're seeing the U.S. and China really at the forefront of this.
Wow.
Each holding hundreds of thousands of Bitcoin. It's a move that's making a lot of people rethink the future of finance on a global scale.
Wait, so the U.S. government is buying Bitcoin?
Mm-hmm.
The same government that's kind of been like dragging its feet on crypto regulation? What's going on there?
It might seem a little contradictory, but from their point of view, Bitcoin is a way to hedge against economic instability.
Okay.
Think of it like diversifying their portfolio beyond those typical assets.
So maybe they're starting to realize that Bitcoin is here to stay. But what does this mean for like the average person? Could this actually like shift the balance of power in the global financial system?
It's a real possibility. Some experts believe that Bitcoin could eventually rival traditional reserve assets like gold.
Wow.
So imagine a world where countries are vying for Bitcoin dominance instead of just controlling, gold reserves. That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's a wild thought. Let's move on to something else that's really shaking things up. Brazil wants to use cryptocurrency for trade within the BRICS nations. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa.
Right.
This has got the potential to really turn the global financial system on its head, right?
It's a bold move for sure. The BRICS bloc represents a huge chunk of the global population and economic activity.
Right.
If they're successful in creating a viable crypto-based trading system, it could undermine the U.S. dollar's dominance in international trade.
So we're talking about a potential power shift, a move away from the U.S. dollar as the global reserve currency.
Yeah.
I mean, what are the chances of that actually happening?
It's hard to say for sure, but it's definitely a scenario that a lot of people are watching closely.
Right.
It could pave the way for a more decentralized global financial system, one where, power is distributed more evenly among different countries and currencies.
That's a pretty radical vision. Now, let's kind of zoom in on the U.S. for a minute. Things have been pretty chaotic when it comes to crypto regulation.
Yeah.
But there's a glimmer of hope, maybe.
Mm.
Vermont just dropped his lawsuit against Coinbase's staking services, and the SEC made a similar move earlier.
This is a really positive development for the crypto industry in the U.S. It could signal, hopefully, a shift towards a more supportive regulatory environment,
Okay.
one that encourages innovation rather than stifling it.
So maybe the U.S. is finally warming up to crypto. But what does this mean for the future of, staking services? Should people be rushing to stake their cryptos?
Well, first, let's make sure everyone's on the same page about what we're even talking about.
Yeah.
Staking is essentially locking up your crypto to support a blockchain network, and you earn rewards in the process.
Okay.
It's kind of like becoming a mini bank for a crypto network.
Yeah.
You're contributing to its security and stability.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So is this, like, legal victory a sign that staking is about to take off in the U.S.? Or is it too early to tell?
It's too early to say for sure.
Yeah.
But it definitely reduces uncertainty and could pave the way for more staking services to emerge.
Okay.
It's something to watch closely for sure if you're interested in earning passive income from your crypto holdings.
All right, so we've got governments stocking up on Bitcoin. We've got economic blocks exploring crypto for trade. And we've got some signs that maybe the U.S. might be softening its stance on crypto. Now let's dive into a world where crypto isn't just about finance, it's about play. We're talking blockchain gaming. And one game in particular is proving that it can weather any storm.
Yeah, Axie Infinity. Even with all the market fluctuations we've seen, it's still going strong.
Right.
They just released their Q4 2024 financial report, and the numbers are impressive. A market cap of over $560 million. $30 million in trading volume.
Wow.
And a growing treasury.
Hold on. $560 million market cap. That's bigger than some publicly traded companies. I remember trying Axie Infinity a while back, but I didn't quite get the whole play-to-earn thing.
Can you break that down for me?
Yeah, so Axie Infinity is a game where players can actually earn cryptocurrency
Okay.
by battling and breeding these digital creatures called Axies.
Okay.
It's part of a larger trend called play-to-earn or GameFi,
Right.
where those lines between gaming and finance become really blurred.
It's not just about having fun. You can potentially make money while you play. I mean, that's a pretty appealing concept.
It definitely is, and Axie Infinity's success suggests that blockchain gaming isn't just a fad.
Right.
It has the potential to revolutionize the way we think about gaming and the value we place on our time and skills.
Speaking of revolutionizing gaming, let's talk about Ronin, the blockchain behind Axie Infinity.
Yeah.
It's been growing like crazy, hasn't it?
Absolutely. It's currently the 7th most used blockchain in the world. Over 500,000 daily active addresses, $71.55 million in total value locked.
Wow.
Those are serious numbers, especially for a blockchain that was specifically designed for gaming. And it's not just Axie Infinity, right? There's a new game on Ronin called Axie's Legacy that's generating a ton of buzz.
Right.
They have like 9.5 million pre-registrations.
It's incredible. It just shows that there's a huge appetite for these high-quality Web3 games.
Yeah.
And Ronin is really well-positioned to be the leading platform for this emerging industry.
But what's really interesting to me is how some projects are going above and beyond to actually contribute to the Ronin ecosystem. Take Kixels, for example.
Yeah.
They just launched their own validator node on Ronin.
Right. That's a key development.
Yeah.
For those who aren't familiar, a validator node is essentially a computer that helps secure a blockchain network.
Right.
And helps verify transactions.
So by launching their own validator node, Pixel isn't just building a game. They're actively participating in like the governance and security of the Ronin blockchain.
Exactly. It's a demonstration of their commitment to the long-term health of the ecosystem.
Wow.
And a sign that they're in it for the long haul.
It's almost like they're saying, we believe in the power of decentralization, and we're putting our money where our mouth is.
Precisely. And that's one of the most exciting aspects of the crypto space.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just about making money. It's about building a more equitable and decentralized future.
This has been a lot to take in, and we're just getting started. I need a minute to process all of this. Let's come back for part 2 and really dig into what this all means for the average person. Stay tuned, folks. The deep dive continues. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've only just scratched the surface of what's happening in the crypto world.
Yeah, the rabbit hole goes much deeper,
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and the implications extend far beyond, just those directly involved in the crypto market.
Right.
This is about reshaping global systems,
Yeah.
From finance to gaming and even social structures.
Yeah, my head's spinning a little bit, but in a good way. It's like we're watching this high-stakes game unfold,
Right.
and we're trying to figure out like who the winners and losers will be.
Right.
And not just in terms of like money, but in terms of power and influence.
Exactly. And the stakes are high for everyone, whether they realize it or not.
So let's talk about like the bigger picture. What are the major takeaways from what we've discussed so far?
I think it's clear that crypto is moving beyond the fringes, moving into the mainstream. We're not just talking about individual investors anymore.
Right.
Governments and major economies are taking notice, making moves that could really reshape the global financial landscape.
It's like when your grandparents figure out how to use TikTok. You know the world is changing.
That's a great analogy, and this growing acceptance could lead to a future where the financial system is more accessible, efficient, and transparent.
Okay, but how? Like, paint me a picture of this crypto-powered future. What does it actually look like for like the average person?
Imagine a world where you can send money across borders instantly and for a fraction of the cost. A world where you don't even need a bank account to access financial services.
Yeah.
A world where the barriers to entry for entrepreneurs and small businesses are lowered.
That sounds pretty utopian. But let's be real. There are downsides to consider too, right? This isn't all sunshine and rainbows.
Of course not. Crypto is still highly volatile. Regulation is a constant challenge. And there's always the risk of scams and hacks.
So it's not like a guaranteed path to paradise.
Yeah.
But even with the risks, the potential benefits are huge.
Exactly. And that's why education is so crucial. The more people understand about crypto, the better equipped they'll be to navigate those risks and seize those opportunities.
Now, let's circle back to the gaming world. We talked about Axie Infinity's success and Ronin's meteoric rise. What does this mean for like the future of gaming?
I think it's a sign that the play-to-earn model is resonating with players. People are drawn to the idea of owning their in-game assets and potentially earning real-world value from their gaming skills.
It's not just about earning money, though, right?
Yeah.
There's also a sense of community and ownership that, traditional games often lack.
Absolutely. Players are becoming more involved in the development and governance of these games.
Okay.
It's a shift from a consumer model to a more participatory model.
So is this the future of gaming? Will we all be grinding for crypto while we're slaying dragons and building virtual empires?
It's a possibility, but it's still early days for blockchain gaming. There will be winners and losers, just like in any emerging industry.
So what should people be looking for? How do we separate the hype from the substance?
Look for projects that are building real value, not just promising quick riches. Pay attention to the community behind the game and consider the long-term sustainability of the game's economic model.
And what about regulation? Is the gaming industry going to face the same scrutiny that we've seen in other areas of the crypto space?
It's inevitable. As blockchain gaming grows in popularity and economic significance, regulators will start to pay more attention.
All right, gamers, get ready for the regulators to join the game. But let's zoom back out to the global stage for a minute. We talked about governments buying Bitcoin and BRICS, exploring crypto for trade.
Right.
What are the potential long-term consequences of these moves?
Well, if more countries follow the lead of the US and China and start accumulating Bitcoin, it could shift the balance of power in the global financial system.
Are we talking about a world where Bitcoin becomes like a geopolitical weapon?
Yeah.
That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It's not as far-fetched as it might seem. Control over a significant portion of the Bitcoin supply could give certain countries a strategic advantage in the future.
That's a mind-blowing thought. And what about the BRICS proposal to use crypto for trade? Could that really threaten the U.S. dollar's dominance?
It's a long shot, but it's not impossible. If the BRICS nations can create a successful crypto-based trading system, it could encourage other countries to follow suit.
So we could see a move away from a dollar-centric system to a more multipolar world where power is distributed more evenly.
Exactly. The current global financial system is, heavily reliant on the US dollar. A shift towards crypto could disrupt that system and lead to a more balanced and decentralized world.
This is heavy stuff. We've covered so much ground from, government Bitcoin strategies to the rise of blockchain gaming empires. It's clear that the crypto world is changing rapidly, and the implications are far-reaching.
But we can't lose sight of the most important element in all of this. The human element.
You mean people behind the code, the gamers, the everyday folks using crypto to, change their lives?
Exactly. Technology is just a tool. It's up to us, the humans, to decide how we use it and what kind of future we want to build.
So how do we ensure that this technology is used for good? How can we make this crypto revolution work for everyone, not just a select few?
That's the million-dollar question, and it's one that we'll tackle head-on in our final segment.
Stay with us, folks. We're about to dive into the heart of the matter. All right, we're back for the final part of our crypto deep dive. We've talked about the trends, the risks, the possibilities. Now let's get a little personal.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, technology is just a reflection of us, the people who create it and the people who use it. The future of crypto, like any powerful tool, really depends on the choices that we make.
So let's talk about the human side of this revolution. What role do we play as individuals in shaping how this all unfolds?
I think it starts with, taking ownership of our knowledge. We need to empower ourselves to really understand the complexities of crypto, to be able to separate fact from fiction, and to think critically about all the information that we're bombarded with.
Yeah, there's just so much hype and misinformation out there. It's easy to get swept up in the excitement. But I feel like it's more important than ever to approach crypto with a discerning mind.
Absolutely. We need to go beyond, just listening to the loudest voices or blindly following the crowd. Crypto is a global phenomenon, and it demands that we engage in these thoughtful, open discussions about the opportunities and the challenges that it presents.
We need to break out of our echo chambers and recognize that this technology impacts everyone, not just, a select few.
Exactly. We have to be mindful of how crypto affects diverse communities and cultures around the world, and consider the ethical implications of our choices and ask ourselves how we can ensure that this technology is used responsibly and inclusively.
These are big questions, and I don't think there are any easy answers. But it feels like these are the questions that we need to be asking ourselves constantly as we navigate this new landscape.
Yeah.
So where do we go from here? How can we ensure that this crypto revolution truly benefits everyone?
Well, I think it starts with each of us, taking responsibility. Educate yourself, engage in meaningful conversations, support projects that align with your values, and use your voice to advocate for the kind of future that you want to see.
It's easy to feel overwhelmed by all this.
Right.
But you're right, it's about those small individual steps.
Yeah, and remember, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. The crypto space is constantly evolving. There will be setbacks. There will be challenges. But there will also be incredible breakthroughs and progress along the way.
The key is to stay engaged, to stay curious, and to never lose sight of the human element. The human element that lies at the heart of this technological revolution.
Well said. The future of crypto is literally being shaped right now.
Yeah.
And we all have a role to play in that.
That's the message we want to leave you with today. The future of crypto is in our hands. It's up to us to shape it into a force for good, a tool for empowerment, and a catalyst for a more equitable and decentralized world.
Thanks for joining us on this journey. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and a deeper understanding of the potential of this transformative technology.
Absolutely. Keep exploring, keep questioning, keep learning. The crypto world is full of surprises, and the most exciting chapters are yet to be written.